Ready? Okay. This afternoon, we are thrilled to have Sensei Harold Zeidman dealing with multiple assailants. Okay. And then I will be dealing with techniques in tight spaces. And the tight spaces are going to be just 2 of these panels. That's your total workout area. And we have 3 available corners. Because corners are bad places to get stuck into, but not as bad as one might think. Okay, as long as you follow some simple rules. Again, as I've said before, the techniques are irrelevant. Okay, or the attack is irrelevant. Okay, okay, very good. So I'm just going to get Mr. Harold back out here, and he's got the show until 4:30. 2:30.
God, I crack myself up. I don't make anybody else laugh, but I crack myself up. Okay. You know, it's interesting that this afternoon's sessions both have something in common, and that is that they're non-traditional. You know, most sessions in jiu-jitsu classes and most martial arts classes, everything is sort of fair. 1 against 1, you're lined up facing the person, you may even ray first so that you know this attack is coming, and everything's fair, okay? As I used to tell my kids, now they're too old, they're gone, but I still tell them when I get a chance, life isn't fair, okay? You may be in a tight space, you may be in a corner. Oh my God, more than one person might attack you, and they may not come at you from the front, okay? Stuff like that really happens, and we need to train for it. And so I thought that was interesting, that just what this afternoon's sessions are both really about. So this session is going to be talking about the unfairness of being attacked by multiple assailants, okay? And we'll go through some things there. There were a couple things from this morning, though, that I want to talk about because I think they're important for what we need this afternoon. We didn't get to one of the concepts about Midori-Ryu. And again, these are not unique to Midori-Ryu. You know, you all, I think a lot of them resonated with you as things that you knew, is called zanshin, or determination, okay? Normally when we're in a dojo and we're learning, we kind of have our learning hats on. And we don't have our ki brought up and the full determination. But it's important when we do these techniques that once we've got them down and we're practicing with people, even if we do them slowly, that we call up our ki and have our determination. So remember, everything is from your hara, from your center of gravity. When I'm in here, I call up my ki. Can you feel it? I call it up. Can you feel that? That's how I do this move. It's off, it's on. Can you feel it? That fast. Because the attack will come at you that fast. Okay? There is no time. And you need to practice doing that, because when everything hits the fan, you will only do what you practiced. So we were in learning mode, and first you have to learn the move or the technique or the principle that you're trying to learn. But then when you start practicing, make sure no matter how slowly you do it with determination. Zanshin. Call up your ki. Exhale from your hara, not just out, but into that person. So I can't call up my ki into all of you, but I can call up my ki into one of you. I can call it up into one of you, because we're connected now, right? We're connected, okay? So that's an important thing. The other thing that we're going to get into with the multiple assailants, and I'll explain why in a moment, is they have a term in Kendo and Kenjutsu called creating a tsuki, a weakness, a point that you can attack, all right? Normally, we have the luxury of sitting back and letting that person attack us and using that person's attack against them. Sometimes we don't have that luxury when we know we have no choice but to defend ourselves, right? We have to create that tsuki, that weakness in that other person that makes them vulnerable because it gives us kazushi. By that weakness is what it does, and it makes them vulnerable, and we can use it. And we're going to need to do that with multiple assailants. So keep those two things in mind, all right? The zanshin and calling up the ki for when you practice, right? Although I suspect we'll mostly be so much in learning mode that I'm not going to be stressing zanshin during this session. And the other, which I will stress and we'll get into, is creating that tsuki, that weakness. So let's talk about multiple assailants. Can I have 2 volunteers? Thank you both for volunteering. Okay. We are only going to do both on the same side at this point. We're going to get to all different kinds of angles for the 2 people. We are only going to do 2 people. If it's more than 2, 3, or 4 or more, the same principles. The problem is the difficulty level multiplies. I think of it as geometrically, not arithmetically. I mean, it just gets much more difficult. So you should practice as you get comfortable with 2. You should practice with more. Now, you got 2 people attacking you. They're both coming at you from straight on. They come up to you. You know that it's going to be an attack. They're just not just a robbery where you hand them your wallet and you walk away at least physically safe, nothing but your pride hurt, right? And we can get over that with some chocolate cake and candy and stuff, and we'll be all right, especially if it's dark chocolate. Then we'll definitely be okay. But we know we're going to be attacked. Which one do I go after first? The big one, the little one, the one on my left, the one on my right? It depends if I'm right-handed or left-handed. Which one do I go after first? The big one?
The first one that attacks.
The first one that attacks?
The one that is potentially more threatening.
The one that is, okay, right now we're not going to deal with weapons.
Actually,
Assume they're both unarmed.
I would take the weaker because I'm going to use him as a weapon against the other one.
Okay. Well, we're all sort of on the right track, which is nice, but it tells the experience. They choose.
Yes.
Just like when we were talking about before, we're very nice people. We let them choose, our assailant choose how he wants to die, right? His choice. I don't decide what move I'm going to do. He tells me by the nature of his attack. They tell me who goes first. All right? They choose. All I do is call up my ki, and I'm ready. Can you feel it? Am I ready? Not ready. So then, when they choose, what is the basic principle? This is, if you only remember one thing about multiple attacks, this is the one thing I want you to remember. It's 4 words long, so it's not that hard. Co-opt before you commit. Co-opt before you commit. Right now, it's 2 against 1. I don't like those odds. Okay? What I want is 2 or 2 against 1. So I have to make one of these people my partner. Okay? If you remember nothing else but that, you've got, the basics down. So how do I do that? Well, one other thing. Just remember, if I go after the big guy or the little guy or whatever, and let's just say, boom, I kill. It's a death blow. Boom. Okay, now you're going to die at some point in life because I just touched you. I guarantee you're not living forever now. Okay? Boom, it's a death blow. But in the process, he kills me. Okay? From an odds perspective, we're equal. One guy dies on each side. Okay? From my personal perspective, that didn't work out so well. All right? So I need to survive both of these folks. So what I need to do is have one of them become my friend. So if you are both going to attack me, if you want to huddle up and decide how you want to do your attack, or if you just want to come at me, I don't care. Let's just do it slowly because I want to talk through what's happening so you can get a sense of how you co-opt. If you want to talk, I don't care.
Get his wallet and bring it back to me.
Okay? So what happens is something's going to happen. One of them comes at me or something. One of them leads. Always one of them is going to lead. Okay? It's very rare that you're going to have a precision trained team where they both come at you at the same time. And if we get to it, we can talk about that too. But one of them's going to lead. The leader becomes my friend. He gets co-opted. So what's happening? He comes in. Now, if I come in here and try something here, what happens? This guy cleans my clock, doesn't it? Doesn't he? Right? Okay, so back up. So when he comes in, I need to work him around. Can this guy attack me now? So I co-opt. He's got to reach all the way around while I'm looking at you guys and waiting for an answer. He's got to reach all the way around. I kept this guy's kazushi going, but for this instant, and it's an instant that passes, so I need to work with the instant. For this instant, I have him blocking him out, so I have my advantage. Right? So they'll always move. You can get up, thank you. They'll always move in a way to give you kazushi. We need to work with that kazushi, and by using, remember, orthogonality, extending their kazushi, using orthogonality, going after them at right angles so I keep them going, right? Hey? To co-opt that person, to block this person out so he can't do something to me for the moment, and that's when I have my opportunity to take one of them out. Hi? Yep. And the other thing is, and this is really, really hard, we're used to practicing. We throw this person, or tie him up. We're used to finishing the person off just in case the throw didn't work or whatever. And this is so hard because we train it and you drill it into your students. No, don't let him go when he hits the ground. You get your cane, your bamboo stick out, and you start whacking him on the back. You got to finish him off. You cannot finish off in a multiple attack situation. Okay? You cannot finish off. Because while you're finishing off number one, he's no longer co-opted into helping you block out number two. Okay? It is so hard to think about. Okay? It's so hard. All right? I've gotten to the point where I've trained myself that if I knew it were one person, not the best thing, but I know that I'm never going to know if it's one person. When I do that move, boom, and I throw this person, I take a quick look and reassess the situation before I finish. I don't let him go, right? I keep that grip, but I count on the throw or whatever technique took him to the ground to at least break him up for a fraction of a second so I can reassess before I finish. So I take a quick look, okay? Because when do you know that only one person is attacking you? When do you know? Never. An hour later, when you're sitting in Denny's, drinking coffee, and trying to calm yourself down from the situation, and only one person attacked you, at that point, and only then, do you know that you only had one assailant. Until then, you do not know. Okay? So what I want you to do now is group yourself in pairs of 3. All right, somebody got it. Get in groups of 3. It's kind of like line up alphabetically by height, right? Okay. Just get groups of 3 so we can rotate through 1 defender, 2 assailants, and I'll tell you what I want you to do. Okay? We got lots of mat space.
He's going to be
Am I in a good spot?
Yeah.
Because I just realized I'm in front of the mark. So I'm okay? Just get in groups of 3. We got groups of 3? Okay, great. So now what I want you to do, we're going to take turns. 2 ukis, 1 tori. We're going to keep it simple and straightforward, just like we had here with the 2 people facing you, right? One of them goes first. And all I want you to do is co-opt whoever goes first, okay? And then do something to them to at least temporarily take them out. All right? And go slowly. We didn't go fast. I'm not interested in... You can't fool yourself when your uki goes slow by you going fast, right? Because in real life, full speed, you can't go faster than full speed by definition, right? So we have to match our uki's speed, and we want to match our uki speed anyway, but we have to. So just take one out, so that you can face the other. We're then in a one-on-one situation, which we're used to, and we're not going to deal with that today. We don't have time for all of that. Okay? So just work that. Everybody get it? We'll come back to this. Here's a real tendency, okay?
You can say it.
We are by nature, we're risk averse. We want to be sure, and some of us want belts and suspenders, right? I'm an accountant. Trust me, I know all about being risk averse. I spend my life being risk averse, okay? Belt and suspenders aren't enough. A lot of times I staple my pants to my body, okay, just to be sure, okay? So I get this, right? But that co-opt opportunity, it passes. It just passes. We've done this with my Kenjutsu class, because Kenjutsu is the same as Jiu-Jitsu from the sense of using the kazushi and whatever. We're going full speed. The shinais, they get clocked, I've read, at over 100 miles an hour when they hit you. You have a fraction of, and I can't grab the person because I've got the shinai. You have a fraction of a second to co-opt this person, use them, and then to block out the other and face the other person, okay? And that gets you over what the problem is. As humans, they come in and, you know, okay, I got to be sure, you know, and everything. I keep giving them more chances. The more chances I give them, the more likely it is that one of them is going to connect. And all I need is one failure on my part, okay? They can survive 2 failures. I can only survive 1, right? So when that first attack comes, I've got to work with it, right? Instantly. One of the other things we didn't talk about this morning too much, but it's a basic principle of Midori-ryu, close to the kill. Close to the kill, all right? If he's still standing by the time we're connected, he's getting thrown, okay? Close to the kill. But I didn't waste time on him. The minute his kazushi started, I accepted and moved in. Were you able to do anything? Not really. You didn't have a clear shot, but he's feeling more confident, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's like, man, I got more opportunities. I'm building their confidence, all right? So it's not move fast because I want you moving at their speed, right? But move early. Take that first opportunity. You're all good enough. You're all high enough ranks. You know how to use the kazushi. Take that first opportunity, okay? Okay, Hajime, play with it some more. But I've got till 2:25. Everybody kind of getting the sense of this? We have to take that first person out who's giving themselves. We have to take them out quickly. And I say quickly, not fast, because we still need to mesh with their speed. Now, I'll get my 2, don't even, no. Now I get my 2 here, and what do I do if one's in front and one's behind?
Stay out of the center of the circle.
Okay, great. Let me tell you some things, and this is something that actually happened to me. All right, I was with a friend of mine I was probably a Sandan at the time, and he was a EQ, maybe a Shodan, I can't remember. We left a movie theater. He wanted to go to this theater because it was near his house. I considered the part of town fairly sketchy, but I let him talk me into it. We were probably 20 feet away from each other afterwards as we were walking back to the car, because we were both thinking about the movie, all right? And I saw 2 misguided youths, teenage youths, separate themselves. The smaller one came towards me, the bigger one came around, all right? You kind of get the sense, right? You have to know where you are, always keep aware of your surroundings and things. You've heard that, and you try to practice that, I know, but it's true. And you know what? I looked at these guys, and the thought that went through my mind was, oh, shit. And then the next was, these guys would never make it in Detroit, okay? This is Columbus, Ohio. I was born in Detroit. My family's in Detroit. These guys were amateurs. All right, which gave me some level of confidence. So the smaller one comes up in front of me and goes, you know, saying gibberish, but pointing to his wrist, which had no watch on it, by the way. trying to get me to look and try to figure him out while this guy could come in and bash me over the head. They didn't time it. This guy's too far away, okay? Because I'm ready to just charge through this guy, okay? This guy's too far away, but there was enough time. I just called up my key and I said, Ron, take care of him. And I pointed right at the guy because I knew where he was without taking my eye off of this one. I said, he's mine. He's mine. And I called up my key. This guy about crapped himself, okay? And he ran. He ran, okay? This guy, I don't think he heard anything that went on, but he was like, oh, my buddy's running, I better run too. And I saw them go back to their original corner waiting for their next victim and trying to figure out what was going on. But calling up my key, being aware of the situation, knowing what happened, in a sense, Zanshin and creating the Suki, right? All right? He was on top of me. He was the guy who was going to die, okay? And I had to create that weakness. I thought by calling up my key, it might do something, and sure enough, it actually did more than I expected it to do, because I really thought I was going to have to take him out. Ron, autism is a spectrum. He's not like real far on that spectrum, but he's on that spectrum. Yeah, he just not always aware or connected very well with things. He had no idea what was going on. None whatsoever. Would have been no help to me whatsoever. I knew that at the time, okay? But I also knew I had time, and I wanted this guy to know I knew he was there, okay? He's mine. What does that do to you when I point to you?
It kind of freaks me out because if I'm approaching you from behind, I'm expecting to surprise you.
I got to be aware, and I got to use my advantages. Okay, so now, when I got two like this, okay, the closer one is the bigger threat, and exactly right, I got to get out of the middle. All right? So when I got two like this, if I can get out of the middle this way, I'm going to do it. Because if I can take him out, increase my distance, make this guy have to cover the distance at the same time, I'm going to do it. If not, I get out of the middle this way. Okay, Tsugiyashi, I'm going to get out of the middle this way, and in a sense, come back to our first situation, where the two guys face each other. Okay, so my preference is to take him out, because he's closer. Right? If it's the bigger guy, it doesn't matter. It's who's closer. So how do I do that? All right? This guy's going like this, right? Again, this really happened. It was just the most bizarre thing in the world. It's like I watched the whole thing happen, okay? As I'm calling up my key and doing all this, I'm watching a movie as I'm doing this whole thing, all right? And this whole thing's going on, right? I was going to create my Suki, the weakness, off-balance him. Think angry thoughts at me because you're about to attack me. Think it. No, don't smile. Don't smile. Think angry thoughts.
I'm not an angry person.
Be angry.
All right, I'm angry.
Angry thoughts. No, we'll just watch. Angry thoughts. Be angry.
I'm not an angry person.
I need the anger because if I accept it and reflect it back,
See if I can be angry.
Go for angry bird.
what happened? Which way'd you move?
I kind of slid back a little bit. Yeah.
Now watch this. Think angry thoughts. Angry thoughts. Which way'd you move?
Forward.
I can move him. I can create a Suki. I can move him forward, I can move him back, I can move him side to side. Okay? It's not magic. It's like a physiology, a connectedness. If I accept his anger and take it back, okay, I can move him. Now, when he's smiling and happy, there's nothing there. He's not giving me an attack. I got nothing to move back. But I can move him. So think angry thoughts. You get ready. You're going to attack. Think angry thoughts. What happened? I moved you back for an instant. Did you feel it? Hey?
Yeah.
I moved you back just a fraction with connecting and reflecting, moving back, opened his crotch. Take his crotch out, keep going. Right?
Did you give him any physical signal other than your breath and the stare?
Okay, now, over here because of the camera.
You want to zoom in on the face too.
Okay, you got to think angry thoughts. Angry? Which way did you move?
I wasn't aware of moving.
Think angry thoughts. Did you see it?
An angry man either.
Come in again. Angry thoughts. Attack. Think of attacking. Think of attacking. What happened? Just that instant. Did you see his head bob forward?
It was a nudge forward. It was very subtle.
Uh-huh.
That's a Suki. Now, if we think the angry thoughts, do you see it?
I wasn't watching. I was
Oh,
watching it.
think the angry thoughts. Do you see it just move back for a fraction? If I have him do it, and then I pause, the Suki's over, right? But as you get those angry thoughts, too late. Why? Did I go fast?
I'm not sure.
Did I go fast?
No.
Okay, what did I do? Kept my head level, right? But I accepted, and I actually pulled him in just a fraction. And by pulling him in, I bring his chin to me. And by pulling him in, he's got to recover his balance before he can defend himself or do anything. That fraction is all I need. So I would come here. Do I try to take him out after that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If this snap doesn't break his jaw, take him out, I got to pass him by so that I know where this guy is, because this guy's probably going to be charging when he sees me move. If I have a chance here for a shot at, somewhere on his backside or his kidneys, take out hhis knee or whatever from the back, great. But if not, no problem. But I got to create that Suki. And how do I do that? I accept that person. Anybody want to try it? Want to feel it? You got to be able to think angry thoughts and attacking thoughts at me, because otherwise there's no connection. It's kind of like trying to use an uke who goes at you like this. Okay? You can never do a decent throw or anything with that, can you? Right? You're right? But an uke who comes at you like this, you can do something with, right? Because it's a real attack. So I need real thoughts. But if anybody else wants to feel it, more than happy to. But you can see the head bob. The camera, well, the camera's sort of an angry. It's got a red light on, but I need angry thoughts. Okay, well, that's fine.
I know exactly what you're doing. I'll be angry.
Well, no, it's just anybody who wants to feel it who hasn't done this before. That's all I'm asking. No, that's fine. Okay, so what I want you to do, and how do we, let me use you, just one person, this is fine, but how do we create that connection, right? How do we learn to do that? Exhale from your hara as he accepts those angry thoughts. Don't fight him, because remember, we accept our uke. We allow him to choose his own way to die. Accept him into you and reflect it back. Do you feel it? Mm-hmm. You kind of feel the connection? Mm-hmm. Accept it and reflect it back. And decide, based on how he's standing and whatever, decide which way you want him going. And all it takes is just a second, because fraction, I don't have to move him with my mind this much with our thoughts, because that's never going to happen. But if I move him this much, he's got to move back this much before he can do something. Yeah? And while he's doing that, it's too late. Okay? So you need to practice exhaling and accepting and reflecting back. Did you want to go backwards a bit? Just a second? No. Did it? Come here. You got to be angry, man. You got to think attack, because otherwise you're this floppy guy. There's no, okay? Feel it? No, he's too busy smiling. Paul, you're too nice a guy. You're never going to make it in this world, let me tell you. Okay, but you kind of get the sense. Now, there are other things you can do, but they take more time. Okay, and so if it's one-on-one, if he come up like you're going to attack me, and what I can do is as long as I keep centered, so I don't lose my balance. What does that make you want to do? Just moving like this. What does that make you want to do? Even if I make contact, what does that make you want to do? Makes you want to respond. doesn't it? So get up there. The minute I move, and it makes him want to respond, so respond somehow. Whatever feels good to you, there you go. I've got my, the kazushi I need for my attack, and my assailant who's behind me, I'm starting to use this guy to co-opt, right? So the important thing from this type of tsuki, well, with everything we do, we got to keep in our hara, keep centered, move from your hara, don't move your arm to do something to him. But if he's going to attack you, if he's thinking of attacking you, trust me, when he sees your arm moving, he's going to respond somehow. I can't tell you what he's going to do. Everybody's going to do something different, but he's going to respond somehow. And you can use that against them as long as you're still in here. So he'll think it's the arm moving, but it's got to be from the hara. You can tsugiyashi if you want, but you got to keep in here, keep everything together so that you're on balance. Okay? So you can create the tsuki that way as well. Takes a little more time because I've got a lot more movement and motion. Depends how far away this guy is as to whether or not that's going to work. All else fails, better a bum's rush than nothing else, right? Charge right through him. Don't even slow down. Do not even slow down. Charge right through him, okay? If you're far enough away that he can't quite get you, and this guy can't quite get you, Sugiyashi, bring him in front. So try those different things, okay? Try those different things. Get back in your groups, okay? Try feeling this person, and as you feel them, move in with it. Take them, that tsuki, okay? Try moving from your hara to create that reaction on their part, using that reaction to co-opt so that you're away from the person, and then all else fails, bum rush right on through them. You know, strike to the face, whatever it is, but bum rush right on through them. Or if you're farther away, try tsugiyashi so that you can face them both, force them to turn to you, something will happen and you'll know which one to co-opt because you'll be back in position one. So one option is always to go to position one. A lot there, but I don't have much time. So rather than break it into individual pieces and try each one, I want you to get that sense of your options, and you can practice because you'll have the video and whatever. Okay? So go ahead, get into your groups. This thing is multiple classes long, and we're condensing it to really one class. So, but that, I mean, that's okay. We got the video and we can practice. So how's it feeling so far? The keys, remember, co-opt before you commit. The other is you do not have time. Don't play with your food. When one of them comes in on you, okay, you got to accept and take them out. The third is that if you have no, if they're just threatening and you know there's going to be attack, like I knew, because I watched the whole thing, I knew what was going to happen. This guy's the distractor, this guy's the guy who clobbers me from behind or grabs me around the neck or something, right? Okay, and I know that's going to happen, then I've got to create that tsuki. I called up my ki, pointed to this guy to distract him, had the off chance hope that this slightly autistic person would actually recognize what was going on, okay? Throw a little confusion, that would create my tsuki, and I'd be able to do something. This guy ran too fast. I mean, he ran. He ran. He did not like my ki, did not like the fact that I knew what was going on. He ran, okay? So, but that's what you got to do, all right? And there's no, like anything else, practice, right? Or if you get tired of practicing, I can appreciate that. In that case, I want you to renshu, okay?
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Renshu is Japanese for practice.
I was in the middle. I was keeping an eye on both of them, moving around, keeping them at a distance, and nobody came close enough to me for me to initiate an attack.
Yeah.
Should
You
I go-
scared them.
Under those circumstances, should I go after one of them?
You scared them.
Okay.
Seriously, you made them cautious because you were aware and they knew it.
Okay.
Okay? So the job becomes harder. It's kind of like when you're one-on-one and the guy wants to is going to attack you, and you can tell and you go, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay? Now he's aware. Now you got a fight on your hands. Whereas if you're like, oh, don't attack, okay? Don't attack me. He'll close that distance for you, right? So these two guys?
Yeah.
Okay. These two guys, when they're coming at me, if I'm kind of moving around and I know that I got these guys at me, they're going to be a little cautious about how they close because I may do something. It's like a, cage,
But if your hands are
corner.
down like that and you don't
Yeah,
show the
but if we're here,
we're all over
boom.
you.
Right. See, and I've got something I can work with. I haven't given myself away. That element of surprise is one of the few advantages you have.
Okay.
They don't know that you're a black belt. Okay? Don't tell them.
So true.
I mean, it's like one of the dumbest things you've ever heard is, okay guys, come on. I'm a 5th degree black belt, right? 5, right? I'm a 5th degree black. It's like, if the guy really wants to attack you, he's still going to, but now he's going to be aware.
And he's going to win in court.
Don't tell him.
This is California.
Yeah, okay, well, that's probably right. So, don't tell him, all right? One of the things that happened to me way back when was, this may not surprise you, but I was actually never larger than I am now, okay? I kept hoping, but it never really happened. And I never forget in gym class, everything always happens in gym class in high school. I have no idea why, but it seems to. We had a lot of inner city guys who liked pushing around white guys because this was back in the late 60s, early 70s, and they were getting even, and if you were white, you were guilty. All right, and so this one guy, he actually wasn't a bad guy. I don't know why he was doing it, but I knew why he was doing it to me because I'm like one of the smallest guys there, right? And the teacher leaves the gym and he starts in on me, and I just looked at him and said, Richard, you don't know what you're messing with. That's all I said. Richard, you don't know what you're messing with. And I didn't know Ki back then because I didn't have Jiu-Jitsu, but I knew Zeidman back then, okay? And I called up my inner Zeidman, okay? And he just looked at me and he backed up and he says, nah, you don't know karate, because karate was big back then. It was judo, then it was karate, then it was Aikido, and then it was Jiu-Jitsu, and then it was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's like every decade has its thing, right? Its in thing. So he's like, you don't know karate, I said. And I just looked at him and said, Richard, do you really want to mess with me? And he just kept backing off, and finally, he stopped. And I never had trouble with him again. But don't tell them, for God's sakes.
What if your wife does?
What's that?
What if your wife does?
What if my wife does? Okay, do you guys know the difference between martial art and self-defense? What's the difference? Wrong. Good guess, though. Okay, you're walking with your wife. Somebody comes up with a gun. Martial arts, right? Push your wife away behind you so she's safe. If anybody gets shot, it's you, right? Make sure she's safe, defend yourself, do whatever you have to do. Well, that's martial arts, right? Self-defense, you're walking with your wife, a guy comes up with a gun. Throw her right into the gun, so if it goes off, it's into her, and run like hell. That's self-defense. Okay?
Yes.
You got to decide what you're doing here, man. You think I'm kidding? You got to decide what you're doing. Okay, so now let's do a couple of other things. Is everybody good, at least with the concepts here that we're talking about, and it's just now a matter of practice? Yeah? Because again, it's nothing new, nothing startling. It is just an extension of what we do one-on-one. And then if you practice this enough and you get good with 2-on-1, and you then try it with 3-on-1. Okay? Because co-opting 1 doesn't work with 3-on-1. You got to co-opt 2. okay? And then you can take out the closest one you co-opted. Then you got a 2-on-1, and you got to take out one, and then you got a 1-on-1, okay? You know, it's kind of like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? And it truly is much harder because the situation is much more fluid and dynamic. And that's why you need to just practice it. You're not going to succeed every time, and I'd rather fail on the mat than fail out there, so I improve my odds. Okay? Now let's do a few set type situations from some common kinds of attacks. All right? So these are moves, again, that you could do 1-on-1, but it's something that might happen with, say, a 2-on-1 kind of more commonly. So we take you, and I always like taking the big guy, and then I need an assailant in front of me. An assailant in front of me. Remember the words? Actually, we do need to go this way, don't we? Sorry, I forgot about the camera. Remember, I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. Okay? So remember that. Must have been something I said. If I embarrass you, tell your friends. All right, so he comes around, and I don't know him. He's distracted me. I don't know this guy's here. You come around and grab me behind the neck. Okay? Boom. He grabs me behind the neck. So now what do? This guy's going to come in and do whatever he wanted. That was the reason this guy grabbed me behind the neck, right? Right? So if I come here and try to throw, even if I'm lucky enough to be able to do that, we have a problem, don't we? It's going to take too long to make this happen, right? Right? Because you've probably taken me and pulled me back. Probably pulled me back, haven't you? And that feels more comfortable for you, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you probably pulled me back.
I'm on balance, and you're
exactly. So for me to come here and do this while you're pulling me back, you pull me back. And I'm trying to do this, and then get into this, and we got muscle, and this guy's going to kill me. So what do? Okay, you're right. First thing, make sure my life insurance is current so the wife and kids are taken care of. Okay, after that, you guys ever heard of the move, the throw Ganseki Otoshi? Stone drop throw?
Yeah.
Height?
Yeah, I understand. You just down like that, throw him in.
I need you to move because I don't want you hurt. Okay, pull me back. It doesn't matter. You know, obviously, or I hope, you know, you put your chin down and look quick at the arm. The minute you see this coming around, which you come down into that side so you can still breathe, right, and pull me back. Make sure you're not too close to the wall, though.
About, 3.5 feet of space.
Okay, so pull me back. Okay.
If I'm going to walk back, I have to have more space.
How about if I just turn you just a little bit to the side? You still good with the camera? Okay. Yeah. So from here, he pulls me. No, just hold still. Let me talk. Okay. So from here, hold him tight. So we're connected. All right? Because he's on this side, it's this foot, with my right leg. Okay? I pull. He pulled me back. But as I take this right leg and I shoot it through the wall behind me. I don't drop my foot. I shoot it through the wall behind me. What happened?
Now I'm off balance.
And when I do that, if he's tight to me, he's going straight over. Hopefully we'll kick him as he goes over. But even if not, it's making him move back and out of the way. And I'm at least on one knee and facing him. I would rather be standing. Right? It's one of the reasons we don't want to go to the ground if we don't have to, because it's not a fair fight. We always have to worry about number two. And if we're on the ground, we want to be up on our feet as quickly as possible. But I've at least improved my situation. So I'll improve it one step at a time if I have to, like eating that elephant. All right? So I'm here. Now, he comes back online. Let's say I didn't get lucky. He jumped back when he saw this happening, because that'll be his instinctive reaction, is not to go sideways, but to jump back out of the way. And now he comes in. Do I get to my feet to face him?
Probably not.
Never. Never, ever. Okay? Not even the Pirates of Penzance, well, hardly ever. Hardly ever got sick at sea. Never, ever do I get up. when this guy's coming at me, because I will always get caught in transition. Okay? So I will take it from here and use the attack from here, and we're one-on-one and we know what to do, right? That's not what this class is about. But I just want you to understand, never get up until you are about, I want to use the right math, so let's just say 4,000% sure that it's okay to get up, right? But I'm at least on one leg. I've got some ability to move. Boom, boom. I can still tsugiyashi and stuff to a certain extent, right? So, all right. So let's look at that Ganseki Otoshi again. So I got my assailant in front of me. Yeah. The guy behind comes and grabs me. I put my chin down, hold him tight. Boom. I'm bent back off balance. But if I'm tight to him, I'm going to try to do this slowly. But I don't just step back. I shoot my foot, this leg, for that wall. Boom. Even if I go slowly. And as I do that, so now let me do it without him so that I can feel free. Hold tight. Shoot as I drop my head. I don't drop my head afterwards. I shoot as I drop my head. You saw what happened even going slowly without me dropping my head. He still can't stand up. When I shoot as I drop my head, he goes over. And what happens is, look at the balance now. Because I want you to understand how this kazushi works. I'm back here. Pull me back. Just pull me back and get into a good position because you're setting me up for him. Okay? So he's pulled me back. Who's off balance? Now, can somebody hold him up? Just grab the back of his gi so I don't throw him. Okay? I just don't want to, but stand to the side of his feet just in case, because we have had accidents when I've done this before. So I don't want you kicked. I just don't want you kicked. If I hold him tight, look what happens to the kazushi as I slide back. See how he goes forward? I get my center of gravity back into my body. Hi. That's how the throw works. That's why the throw works.
I tell you, that's exactly what I was thinking about, because usually to do, say, a drop seoi-nage, if he's got me, I have to have him slightly forward. And if he's got me back like that, I'm going to try to duck out. But if he's got me back like that, and I shoot back here to move my center of gravity.
Exactly.
So I'm below him, and I can bring him over.
You're putting your center of gravity back in your body. Okay? So I'm going to shoot as I drop my head. He goes over. The assailant in front is going to jump back. Even if he jumps to the side, he's definitely not coming straight in. Okay? So we now can assess this situation. This guy's in front of me. I might have time to take him out. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I need to assess first, right? Right? All right? So let's just work on that Ganseki Otoshi. So for here, you can pair off. Just envision that third person, okay? So I want you to pair off. Do this very slowly. I'm going to tell you, if you do it anywhere close to full speed, where you drop your head at the same time you shoot your foot back, it is a hard, quick fall. If you like good falls, it actually feels really good to be thrown in it, right? Okay? But when we're in learning mode, sometimes it's not quite the best throw in the world, so it's not quite the best fall in the world, but it will always be quick. One moment, tell me if I'm wrong, one moment you feel like you got control of this guy, and the next moment you're airborne, and there's no moment in between, even when we go slowly.
Yeah, that's how
Even when we go slowly. So you can't prepare for that throw, to take the throw. You just have to go with it. So pair off. Let's do Ganseki Otoshi, stone drop throw.
What did you call it?
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's height.
When my youngest first family backlog was 17, someone in his school, it was a ring bell, someone in his high school heard that he was in martial arts, and they jumped him from behind, and that's what he did. Fortunately, it was on the grass, but it terrified the guy that he did it to, and no one else touched him after that.
I'm going to tell you a funny story you made me remember. Do any of you know Sensei Bergwerf, Ben Bergwerf? Okay, he's a Kudan in Jiu-Jitsu with the USJA and the ATJA. He was teaching at a seminar in Chicago. He'd invited some of us from Midori to come up from Columbus to Chicago at the time. And there were a lot of Jiu-Jitsu students and some Taekwondo students who wanted to cross things. So about half the classes were more Taekwondo oriented and half were Jiu-Jitsu oriented, and you took kind of both and you kind of maneuvered things around. So some funny things happened during these things, but the one that was reminding me is we were doing, this has nothing to do with multiple assailants, by the way, but it shows you this Ganseki Otoshi works. Okay, we're doing this, where you grab for a finger, you straighten them out, right? You bring them around, and then you throw them. Something like that, okay? Or if you grab for a finger, you then take the elbow pop behind him, something. It was one of those kind of moves, right? Okay? I was working out with a guy who's a black belt. There's a Russian word, one of the few Russian words I remember, gromki, big, strong, okay? Gromki. And, oh my God, this guy had muscle, and he didn't know the meaning of the word slow or practice. I found out afterwards from some of the other guys in Chicago, and I was pretty new to these guys, I didn't know them that well, that they looked and they said, oh, I feel sorry for Hal. You know, he does not know who he's got. He does not know who he's gotten, you know, and they felt sorry for me. So, you know, I'm Hizuki, and I'm coming around nice and slow, learning mode, so he can do his move and this and that. Now it's my turn. He comes around, and he's wearing a Taekwondo gi, so it's a light gi. He comes around and does it, I'll show you, I'll be him, okay? He goes, whoom! I'm full muscle, yanks me back. Honest to God, I lost everything about the class, and I went straight to self-defense mode, and I threw him in Ganseki Otoshi, okay? As he's going airborne and he's over in the air, I hear this huge ripping sound. I have ripped his gi from here all the way down. The sleeve is almost gone. He is gone. He goes boom, and this reverberation through the room, because it is full speed. I am dropping my head to the mat. I shot back my foot as far as it could go. I mean, everything, it was full self-defense. I was scared shitless. I mean, I had no idea what was going on, okay? And he's stunned, okay? Thank God he knew to tuck his head and knew something about slapping. Ben had no idea what was going on, and he just looks at me and says, Hal, could you please stay with what I'm teaching? I will tell you that this guy was the nicest, greatest uke ever. Not only for the rest of the class, but every other time I went back to Chicago. And he always treated me with respect after that. Okay? But these guys told me afterwards, we went out to one of the Chicago pizza places afterwards, they said, yeah, you know, this guy, he likes to do that to people, you know, because he's a big muscular guy and he likes to assess them and, in a sense, assert dominance and whatever. And he said, I can guarantee you, you showed him you were the alpha male, not him. You won't have any trouble with him again, and I didn't. And he was the nicest guy ever. But, and he actually, he made a few comments because he showed up later for pizza about needing to get a new gi now and whatever, but he never made a big deal out of it because he sort of learned his lesson. But honest to God, Ganseki Otoshi works, okay? He had me backwards. I mean, and it was so fast. Oh my God, it was a real attack. It was so fast. All right, so anyway, practice that Ganseki Otoshi. We've got a couple more minutes. Any multiple attacker situations that you're worried about, you've seen, whatever, I want to draw some of these principles we've talked about into some of those. Any of those?
So you have two people, and you've been blindsided. They one or the other already have their hands on you.
Right, okay, like the Ganseki Otoshi thing.
It's imminent, but both of them have managed to close on you, not from your lack of awareness, but because of circumstances.
Okay, so this guy's got his hands on me. Paul, he's always the assailant. Yeah. Paul's ready to come in, so how does he have his hands on me?
They just already closed on you, and they've already got a hold of you.
Both of them?
Both of them.
Sure. You grab this hand, you grab this hand. You know what? Do me a favor. Don't grab the gi. It makes it too loose. Get me nice and tight. Grab my wrists.
Grab the wrist.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so,
This is Taekwondo.
What's
When I was
that?
in elementary school.
well, yeah, there's the kicking solution, but I don't like that so much because there are some limitations to it. Now, what did we talk about this morning is kazushi, right? So one of the good things is while they're grabbing me, they're not otherwise attacking me. They are engaged, okay? Right? So where is their kazushi? Right now, because they've already reached on and they're latching back, they're both pulling away. I don't know if you can see this, but his kazushi's this way, his kazushi's this way. Awesome. Because what do I have now? What did I say we do while we keep their kazushi? We go orthogonally. What happened? No, hold on tight. Come on. Here, let go. I don't want you grabbing gi. It's too easy to fall off a gi. I want you grabbing my arm. I want you good. I want you good and tight. Let me get this one. Okay? So now they're pulling. I go orthogonally. No, I'm not finished with you yet. I go orthogonally. Okay? Now, hey! What did I do to you?
Groin kick.
No, what did I do to you first?
You distracted me. You made me focus on your face.
Damn straight. Did you even see the groin kick coming before you felt it?
No.
Right? Right? I distracted, which was creating the Suki. I created the Suki. I'm loving it, and this is one of the reasons I was actually cheating by picking up my gi. I wanted to make sure they had a good firm grip. Because the stronger their grip is on me, the better off I am. Okay? It's just kind of like if he grabs my gi, I don't try yanking him off. He wants my gi? Great. What's the matter? You wanted it. You got it. Right? Boom. What's the matter? Pretty quick. Yeah, we're still attached. We're still attached. What's the matter? You want my gi? You can have it. Boom. Right? So I wanted to make sure they had a good, strong grip because I'm safer that way. Is that the kind of thing you're thinking about? But work the principles. Don't fight with them. The thing I don't like about the Taekwondo kick, height, was that what you learned? Kind of a side kick to one, pivot, thrust kick, a snap kick to the other?
Actually, all I did was just swing my arms and got out of it.
Oh, well, that's no fun. That's no fun. The bad thing about this is in order to launch this kick, pull tight, pull tight. In order to launch this kick, I can't really launch it because even though I'm going into him, so I'm helping him, I'm going against his kazushi. So he's stopping me from really getting my advantage. I need them holding me loosely and cooperatively for me to really make this work, right? But if they're really pulling hard and they're going to grab me, boom. Hey! You didn't see that one coming either, did you?
I was kind of looking for it, but...
You still didn't see it, did you?
No.
Because you heard me distracted him, right? So, does that answer the question? Any other thoughts? Okay, I know we're out of time. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I know I went through so much stuff, but you'll get it from the video. And please, please practice, and you'll see how it's no different once you kind of get into it from one-on-one. Okay, no different from the jiu-jitsu that you've already become, masters of, right? All right. And then when that newness wears off, you'll be effective. And that Genseki Otoshi, man, that guy convinced me it worked because that was a true self-defense situation. I had no idea what was happening. Thank you all.